Good morning, Andy Lockwood here with another episode of College Coffee Talk. It's Monday, and it's post April 1st, so no April Fool's jokes out of me this year. I took a look at what I did last year. I thought that was pretty funny. It was all sorts of stuff about how colleges were going to be free and giving away like Xbox or something, and strangely, that hasn't happened yet, but there's been some similar proposals coming out, especially in the state of New York. So I didn't think that was too funny. Anyway, so College Coffee Talk is all about questions that you guys have as parents, that Pearl and I have gotten over the last 2.5 years or so. And these questions are about getting into college, about paying for college, scholarships, anything related to college. So today I wanted to talk about an article that a client of mine, Anastasia Portnoy, sent, which I appreciated. And there's an article in the Washington Post that was, I guess, somehow someone in the admissions office at the University of Virginia, who, by the way, does not endorse or otherwise approve of this video. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm actually wearing a UVA sweatshirt today by strange coincidence. How they had leaked some information about what goes on behind the scenes in terms of how they grade or how they evaluate certain candidates. And what was particularly insightful and I guess, outrageous to the reporter was that some of the candidates had notes written in the margins like $500,000 and other things, could be a big, development office issue. I'll explain what that means in a minute. And all these other notes that indicate that there is a pay-to-play type of system going on at University of Virginia. The article also quoted someone, I think he's either the head of admissions or pretty high up in admissions at Trinity College in Hartford, as saying, I've worked at such and such college and other colleges, and this is what happens. This is how it works. So I'm not shocked or outraged at all, which is sort of my opinion. I don't think that the Washington Post reporter needed to be particularly outraged, although I think he was trying to make that more of a subtle point. But that's just the way it works. So just to take a step back, there are certain categories that each college will promote or will allow in before the regular academic type of considerations. So the Trinity guy said something which I say all the time, which is that it's not a meritocracy to get in, and the reason for that is because according to many people in admissions, in college admissions, they understand that more than half, usually about 2/3, if not 80%, of incoming classes are reserved for these special circumstances. One of which are called development cases, which has to do with developing very affluent families into donating to the college's endowment. That's just the way it is. And I, personally, I guess on some level, I'm a little I'm not even outraged, a little saddened, or I don't know what the right word is, but my overwhelming emotion is, look, that's just the way it works. So either you deal with it or you don't. Just don't go into it with false expectations. I think the whole college process is a lot about what expectations you set for yourselves if you're a kid, or if you're a parent, for yourselves and for your kids. Because just because you have the best grades and the best scores does not mean that you will be able to get into a UVA or a Harvard or whatever. And this year, like pretty much every year, I personally mentored one-on-one kids who got into Harvard, Yale, Princeton, University of Virginia, MIT, a bunch of schools like that. And in most, not all, but in most cases, those kids had a special type of category, none of which was a development case, but underrepresented minority, recruited athlete, and so on. Not every kid, but most of them, I would say on average over the years, have that one sort of thing that colleges are looking for. So that brings me to, what does this mean for you? What can you do if you are gunning for either the tippity-top most prestigious colleges or just any decent college, and let's say that you're not in one of those special categories? Well, what you have to do first is recognize that and be realistic. So you can look at the average SAT or ACT scores, you can look at the average GPA and so forth, and you can think to yourself, I have a pretty good shot. I'm right in the middle, or but here's what the problem is. That's not realistic, because those reported grades and scores also include these special categories, which tend to drag down those averages. So what you really need to do is to be at the top end of that range to feel reasonably comfortable about getting in. So in other words, it's not necessarily that these schools are targets. They have to almost be safety or something in the middle of between safety and target for you to have a reasonably decent feeling about being able to get into those schools. So that's really the first thing. The second thing is that you need to understand that you are creating your body of work of what it takes to get into a top school as early as ninth grade. Actually, I should correct myself. It could be even earlier if you have an eighth grader who is taking advanced classes. But ninth grade is typically when most people start building up, their resume, and every choice that you make from ninth grade forward is ultimately going to be judged by admissions officers in your senior year of when you're applying to colleges. So what you should be cognizant of is that it's great to be in clubs and doing like the same stuff that everyone else does, but that is not going to be your ticket to getting into a top school, or in fact to answering the question. Now this question is not asked on the applications, but it's really the main question that's behind the college applications, and it goes something like, look, we have 5,000 other kids who are applying here who have basically the same grades and the same scores as you. You look the same on paper. What is it about you that's different? And you answer that by being strategic about your extracurricular activities that are in school, extracurriculars out of school, your volunteers hours, the types of other activities that you get involved with. And my acronym that I preach, that people just think about, is CASA, Consistent Atypical Student Activities. Don't do the same stuff that everyone else is doing. Now, I'm going to cut this short because I don't want to drag on more than 5 minutes here. I think I already did that. But if you are local to Long Island, I am doing a free presentation. Actually, I'm doing a bunch of them this month. So I'm going to be speaking at the Bronx School of Science on, I think that's Wednesday. And I'm going to be speaking at the Half Hollow Hills Library on Thursday. And I have a few more scheduled the rest of the month. If you are local or reasonably local, please check out if you want more information about what it takes to get in. And I'm going to be talking about scholarships and financial aid and all those types of things. Please click on the link here, lockwoodworkshops.com. We're also going to be gearing up a webinar for this month. I haven't really figured out when Pearl and I can schedule it so we can be doing it together, but that's coming up too. That's not going to be listed on the link that's here. So that's it for today's episode of College Coffee Talk. I hope you found this valuable. Please like, comment, and share. We've been getting a lot of great feedback and shares and a lot of great reviews from people, so that really helps also. It helps spread the word. If you feel like there's any parent that you know who is stressed out or overwhelmed or just needs this information, which I think is most parents, please share this with them specifically. By the same token, there's a lot of parents who think they know everything, and they're more willing to brag about their own kids and not really listen to other people's advice because they know everything. Please don't share with them. That's okay. They already know everything, and I personally don't want to spend my time with them, and I'm sure you don't either. So they can do their own thing. That's cool. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching College Coffee Talk, and tomorrow no College Coffee Talk because it is College Talk Tuesday, which is at 11:30 Eastern. That's me and Pearl together. So if you tune in at 11:30, say hi. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.